Hi, readers, it's Lori. I'm happy that you are here joining me. And if this is your first time, welcome. It's good to meet you virtually, and I hope that you'll interact with me in the comments because that's my favorite part about this, even if sometimes I get behind on those comments. So I'm human, that's it. But I'm going to get to them hopefully sometime today. I have a busy week ahead of me because I took a couple of days off, and that always crunches things together. But I'm excited to be able to get a couple of videos filmed in advance, hopefully, and this one should go up on Thursday as usual. I'm coming to you today with my library and other sundry things that I've hauled in the month of August. I did purchase some books. I already did that haul. I might have purchased a couple others after that, but I'm going to include that in my September haul, I think. Might add them at the end today. I don't know. August is a tricky month for us here because it is as you saw maybe in my short, it is the anniversary of a hurricane that we survived years ago called Hurricane Katrina. It is the anniversary of a lot of other hurricanes in our lives over time, and we're currently watching in really stressful fear around what's happening in Florida because I have family there and friends there, and so yeah, August is a tough month, but I'm doing my best to take care of myself and to, just kind of honor and celebrate the recovery and all those things. So thank you for your comments about that. Okay, in the month of August, I went to the library and I also put a few things on hold that all came in at the same time, of course. So let's start with this one, which I have already read and I will talk about in my wrap up video. I read this in about one day when I was hanging out this weekend with nothing else to do. Yellow Face by R.F. Kuang is the first novel I've read by this author, and it will not be the last. As I said, I was able to finish this in about one day. I wouldn't call this a thriller, although some of you might. I was calling this contemporary literary fiction based on the reviews that I was seeing, but then a friend of mine said, that's a thriller. It was thrilling in some ways, but I would say that I'm going to count it as contemporary literary fiction. It's a book about books. It is a book about two authors who have gone to school together. They've both written a novel. One did very well. The other did not do so well. It was a struggle to even get that book into I don't even think it ever went into a second printing, while her friend, who was of Asian descent, succeeded in really, creating a blockbuster bestseller. They're having drinks one night. They're talking about, their friendship, which it's a first person narration. So the narrator is somewhat contradictory throughout the novel. But anyway, they're having drinks and they have a lot of drinks, and then they go to let me make sure I'm not telling you anything that isn't in the synopsis. Yeah, they go back to one of their apartments, I think the successful author's apartment, and she dies in front of June, who is the main character author of this novel. And so what happens after that is something that I will not share, but you probably could find out from the blurb if you want. But I would love for you to not know what happened, because knowing this to some degree, I felt like, oh, I wish I wouldn't have known that, but maybe that would have made it feel like more of a thriller. I don't know. But anyway, I'll talk to you more about it when I do my wrap up. Then I was going into my library to pick up another book that I had on hold, and I found this one, which I'd never heard of, and the title just really got to me, and that is Esme Cahill Fails. Esme Cahill Fails Spectacularly. Okay. I need to put on my glasses because I'm certain I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. But she was fired from her job in New York. She was a publisher She was divorced from her husband, and all she has is a car and a bunch of unfinished manuscripts. And she returns back to North Carolina to her late grandmother's home, and who had really asked her to come back right before she died, and she didn't. And there she discovers the retreat that her family owned, which is not in great shape. She reunites with some family and I think meets some new people. And then she unearths an attic full of quilts that were sewn by her grandmother. Okay, my relationship to quilts is pretty long. My grandmother did a few quilts as well. My mother quilted for a period of time. My aunts quilted for a period of time. My partner's grandmother quilted for a period of time. We own a lot of quilts. I even dabbled in the quilting hobby for a little while, although I'm not great at it. Nevertheless, I really love the power of quilts and the storytelling that they can bring and just the connection to ancestry. So I felt like this would be good. I also then found it on audio on Scribd. So I'm really excited about that. And I really love this cover. I love this title and I love this cover. Wouldn't it be nice to just be laying in a rowboat in the sea in North Carolina? Maybe not in the next couple of days. Okay, I hauled this summer reading by Jen McKinley from the library. This was one I'd had on hold for quite some time, and then it became available to me at the same time as several other books did too. I'm going to be honest with you. I've started this one. I am not so far thinking that I will finish it. However, I'm not very far in. I'm literally only 12 pages in. But here's what I'm going to say about this. The writing is just not quite what I would like it to be. But what I do want you to know is that this author has a family member who has dyslexia. Actually, more than one family member that has dyslexia, some friends that do as well. So in the beginning introduction from her, the dear reader, actually, and I think it's not really an introduction to the book, she tells you this story and that she created this font in this book that is specifically helpful to people who are neurodivergent, who are reading this novel. I had no idea, having not been neurodivergent in my life, but I know a lot of people who have dyslexia. Never has anyone said the font, it really makes a difference for me. This is valuable information for me in a number of ways, just because I like to be sensitive to, you know, the challenges that people can overcome in whatever way they can overcome them. So this is printed in Verdana, and the words are not hyphenated because apparently that is a difficulty. The margins are also adjusted. And I think that she actually also puts certain things in bold type so that they are kind of strengthened in whatever way that needs to happen. So for that reason, I really want to finish this, but I just don't know how it's going to go. But again, that is Summer Reading by Jen McKinley. So this book is about Samantha, and Samantha is spending the summer kind of caring for, really not caring for, but supporting her brother Tyler, I think is his name. Is it Tyler? Yes. He's a teen and he is at the library trying to do some research. He has dyslexia and he's trying to, I guess, he's in a robotics competition. I can't believe I didn't remember that because my daughter was doing the robotics program at the school she was at before. Okay, so her brother is a teenager in the robotics competition. Ben, who works at the library, is actually working there because he wants to find his father. And the two of them meet, and I'm assuming sparks fly because there they are on the beach. Yeah, okay. And then Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. This is one of my movies I haven't watched or read the adaptation of, which I just posted recently. And so I would like to get to this one. This is a queer read, which is about the first son of the American president, who I believe is a woman, and the Prince of Wales. And they are not friends, but for whatever reason, they're asked to do something together. I think the American son is at a party in Britain, and he's kind of a wild child more so than the Prince of Wales. You know, most of them are pretty buttoned up, right? And they meet, and I'm assuming that they have a hate to love situation that happens for them. And I just think it's fun. And I've never read anything by that author. In fact, I haven't read anything by all of those authors that I've just shared with you. Okay, at my library through Libby, I have acquired an audio copy of The Many Daughters of Afong Moy to see if that would speed up my writing process or my reading progress in that novel. So far, not so much. I'm enjoying The Many Daughters of Afong Moy. I'm having a little difficulty keeping track of The Many Daughters of Afong Moy. I thought the audio would assist. And of course, I have to look at it physically because I have to open these gifts along the way, which I am filming so that you'll be able to see them when I see them. However, listening to it is problematic because you have to keep on track to make sure you're not missing something. I am really, though, enjoying this book. There's nothing wrong with it. I think the audio, though, is making it harder for me to keep track of these women and their stories, and because of the way that it's written, they're in all different timelines, and they don't flow in the order in which they are growing up, if that makes sense, or growing into the next chapter. So I like it, though. I'm really happy with it. And then I also downloaded The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Davy, which is also one of the book to movie adaptation pieces that I like to watch. It is on Apple TV, I think, and it's a thriller. So I won't be listening to that. That's a real thriller. I won't be listening to that until at least September 1st. I did acquire a couple of books on NetGalley. I acquired Darling Girls by Sally Hepworth on NetGalley. This was offered for a limited time to anyone who wanted to read it. It's an uncorrected proof. This one is about Alicia, Jessica, and Nora, who have been friends for a long, long time, and they were actually raised in, I think, a foster home by a woman named Miss Fairchild. So they have this connection to each other from their past, living together for a number of years. And years and years later, as they are adults, some bones are found either underneath that home or in that property some way. They find some remains, and they're asked to come together, I think, again, to talk about their relationship with Miss Fairchild, because it's possible maybe that Miss Fairchild's life didn't end in a peaceful way. It's also possible that it just brings up memories of their childhoods and their kind of struggles. So Sally Hepworth is a kind of I think, thriller writer, but also it's probably more around the mystery sense. I think it's usually there's someone that dies, and usually there are some people that are suspects, but it's more, at least the one that I read was more police procedural. So we'll see, but I'm excited to have this one on my NetGalley shelves. Then I bought a couple of ebooks because they were on sale. So one of them is Fingersmith by Sarah Waters, who is a favorite author of mine. And I don't think I own this one in physical copy, but I need to find out. You know, sometimes I can't buy things because I can't be sure that they're not in a box somewhere. This is an older novel by this author. I remember looking at it years ago, probably in 2000, 2001. I need to find out when it was published. It was published in 2002. So I remember looking at it then. So this is described as a Dickensian novel. I would say that was my sense of it when I started reading it in 2002 and didn't finish it. But it is about a young girl named Sue who grows up in the care of an older woman named Maud, who I think has also a bit of a foster care situation. So there's a little theme here. And Maud brings in or meets this guy who I think is called Gentleman, if I remember correctly. And Gentleman enlists the support of these young girls in creating a situation where they're able to be pickpockets, which is why the book is called Fingersmith. And I think then he wants to kind of shove Maud out of I think maybe he's sharing some of the spoils with Maud and perhaps wants her out of the picture and out of the way. And that's all I remember about this, except that it was a little bit dark from the start. And at that time, I just didn't have the bandwidth to finish anything. So 2002 was not a good reading year for me. And another Kindle book that was on sale is Taft by Ann Patchett. I don't know if either of these are still on sale, but they were just a couple dollars each, as I recall. This one was written a very long time ago. This one was also, I think, published in the early 2000s, maybe even the late 90s. So this is one of her older books. So it starts out, because I started taking a look at it last night, actually, it starts out with a Black man who is kind of the manager of a bar. His name is John, and a very young girl comes in and asks if she could be hired to work at the bar, and her name is Faye. She is white, and Faye has her brother, Carl, who is kind of a challenging kid. But John discovers that their father, whose name was Taft, died, and he becomes, for some reason, just sort of consumed about this man and his life and his relationship to these young people that he has met and I think kind of taken under his wing. As you know, Ann Patchett does family dynamics very well. She does, just contemporary fiction, character development, secrets usually of some sort in someone's life that they are unearthing or that somebody else is unearthing. So I really love her style, and I've been kind of in an Ann Patchett mood lately. And when I saw that it was on sale, I was like, yes, give it to me. I'm ready. I'm ready for Taft. Also, I had never heard of Taft. So that's interesting. So this is a very, very old novel written by this author and owner of Parnassus, the bookstore that is famous. Yeah, if I ever get to Parnassus, which is a goal in my life, to meet Ann Patchett, which is the extension of that goal, I would like to say, I've read everything you've ever written. We'll see. We'll see if that's possible. I'm close though. I think I'm close. Okay, I think that is all of my non-physical things that I hauled this month, and I'm going to save those other two for September. I'm really hoping to reduce my haul in September. I'm hoping to read my shelf, to get to my 5-star predictions and knock some of those out of the way, and just to generally enjoy the month. So let me know what your reading plans are, what you've acquired in the month of August, and what you're kind of putting forward as your first reads. If you're really excited about one over another, let me know. I appreciate understanding what you're reading and what you're hauling. And I love that some of you are hauling probably just as quickly as I am, which makes me feel slightly better about myself. So thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me today. Always use your library if you can. Your library needs you. I'm sure of it. Every library does. They need your patronage. They need your support in whatever way you can provide it. And they just like to see you come in and recommend books to you. So go give them a visit and tell them I sent you. And as always, happy reading. Bye.